This 1927 Lincoln is just the definition of originality. This is an incredibly rare aluminium bodied Jaguar XK120. It's a bit of a group effort to extract this TR6. Today on Car Traction, welcome to the busiest I've ever seen this pub car park. Today we are at the Swettenham Arms pub for their weekly, yes weekly, classic car meet, sports car meet, supercars and all sorts. We've got this absolutely stunning 105 Series Alfa Romeo GTV here, along with an absolutely insane amount of other classic cars. It is the busiest I've ever seen this meet. The forecast is immaculate, and I'm sure a lot of the cars here will be just as immaculate, so really looking forward to giving you guys a walk around of all the supercars, classic cars and everything in between at tonight's evening car meet. I have never ever seen this meeting so big. I look over there, I see a Jaguar XK120, TVRs, more Jaguars, Rover P4s, and that stunning American pre-war car we followed in. We will definitely be looking at that later. Just here's a very rare Mazda MX-6. We're here in the little MX-5 Mark 1, which is just slotted in that little car parking spot over there. Usually this half of things, basically this half of this lovely pre-war American, is for the public, but it has been invaded by all of these absolutely stunning enthusiast cars. So much to see here at tonight's Swettenham Arms evening car meet. So I think we'll start anywhere really. This is the Mazda MX-6. Oh, a bit more pre-war goodness. That is a Crossley. Might be I think it's a Morris Oxford actually, or it might be a Crossley. That definitely deserves a bit more study later on. Got the Honda Civic here, very modified, a very nice Scimitar SE5A, and then this is just, for me, this is the holy grail. Absolutely stunning 105 Series Alfa Romeo here. That is just absolutely gorgeous. This is the Alfaholics car, this one. Wow, this is some, oh yeah, I think that's standard actually. Oh right, vintage standard. I should have noticed that because we got the standard 8. But oh, just look at that Alfa. What a car this is. Still plenty arriving. Got the 996 911 here, but this Alfa is something else. I think this one certainly deserves a feature, a dedicated few detailed photos on the Instagram page for Car Traction at cartraction_vids, VIDS. Got the Scimitar SE5A here as well with sunroof open. The Ford Essex V6 in this one, and this has got the glorious Alfa Romeo twin cam 4-cylinder in it. That is just an absolutely stunning car. They take the little juniors for these and tune them up to a much higher spec than any GTV could have ever dreamed of. Now here's a special car. This is a GTD T70, Lola T70 replica there. So many fascinating cars. Even this early on in the evening is absolutely packed. Alright, I used to think it's about time to look at this glorious pre-war American. Left-hand drive, so original American market car of some description, this one. Oh, hello Dad, it's just across there. And I'm sure on the lovely brass radio we will find out, ah, Lincoln. So that is American. What a beautiful oily ragger that is. Wow, what an engine that is. That looks to be a side valve V8 in this absolutely stunning old Lincoln. What a car this is. Look at that original paint. Wow, the quality of cars we're seeing today already is off the scale. Look at that. Oh, I've got the Golf. Oh, sorry, Jetta that one is actually. But what a car, this beautiful, beautiful old Lincoln is. Late 20s at a guess at date. What a car that is. Yeah, that's just so beautifully original. That paint has mellowed over almost 100 years now. That is just an amazing, amazing car. An absolutely humongous engine in it. I recognise it. The side valve V8, single carburettor. It looks to be. What an engine that is! Got the Delco starter motor. It's 1927. I overhear this Lincoln. What a fascinating car that is. Absolutely stunning vintage Lincoln from 1927. Bit more modern here, modern classic convertible. This is a BMW E36 M3 Cabriolet. It's a great looking colour in that green. Actually got a Renault Megane RS and a 996, Porsche 911 and a Lexus RCF. Got the TVR Chimera here in a very nice light shade of green. Haven't seen one this colour before. Yeah, that's a great colour on that TVR Chimera, very much like that, next to a TVR Tamora. This has been retrofitted with a 4.3 litre Speed 6, the Speed 6 TVR straight 6 engine, which will boost performance somewhat, I think. Lots of upgrades of this actually for sale, this car, for £28,500. Looks to be very nicely modified. This TVR Tamora. Great looking rally art livery on this yellow Mitsubishi Evo. It's a very sharp looking car like that, isn't it? Got a Subaru here next to a Mach 1 Mustang also for sale. 351 cubic inch V8 in this one. So what's that getting up for 7 litres? My conversions are not perfect at all. 3-speed auto. But look at that XK120. An aluminium bodied car as well, which makes this one extra rare. Wow, that is absolutely lovely. The vast majority of XK120s were fitted with steel bodies, and you can see with the steel bodied cars these lights are blended in with the rest of the wing, but with the aluminium bodied cars that you can't really blend it as well. So that means that the aluminium bodied cars, which are the much lighter racing variants of the XK120s, these have these chrome ones that aren't as well blended in. So that's how you can tell that this is an absolute rarity, this Jaguar XK120. Stunning, stunning classic British sports car. That is gleaming. Got the spats on the sides as well. Oh, it's got an original interior as well. Oh, look at that patina. Wow. Wow, the cars we are seeing today. Just gorgeous. That is one of the best looking XK120s I've ever seen. I hope you guys are as blown away by the classic British sports cars as much as I am. This absolutely just jaw-dropping, aluminium bodied, very, very rare. I don't know how many they made, but not many at all. That's such a rare and beautiful old car, that. Much more modern Jaguar, but it's got to count as a modern classic, is this X308 Jaguar XJ. Many of you will know we recently bought an XJ8 Sport, and this looks to be a Sport as well, actually. No, just an XJ8, but the Sports, a lot of these sort of lower spec ones, or the, yeah, okay, so this has got the chrome surrounds. I say lower spec, the sort of different type of car really. So this is like the XJ sort of more luxury cars, ours more the Sport, so it's got blacked out instead of those chrome things. It's just different cars, none one's really sort of higher spec than the other, so that is very tasty and very clean actually, in that sort of dark purple actually. X308 V8 Jaguar XJ. Here's the Burton, I'm not quite sure who they are. Engineered engine, twin Webbers on that one, on the Thames 500 weight van. No, not a Ford Anglia van, it is badged up as a Thames. Thames, the sort of little light commercial variant of the Ford, so it's basically a Ford, but it's basically not at the same time. Lotus Elise, Porsche Boxster, there's a very shiny Triumph TR6 over there as well. Lovely classic British sports car, one of many here today. We'll look at the Consul Capri in a moment. There's a Corvette here, a 991 generation Porsche 911. There's the back of that gleaming Jaguar XJ8. Got Ford Fiesta ST over there. There's a little Fiat Panda looking quite sporty. Very smart MGB Roadster. That's a fantastic looking car in the evening sunlight in a very dark grey, actually, not an original colour. I don't think a chap in a flat cap at Abingdon put that on, but yeah, it looks quite sleek in that. And another Mark 1 MX-5 next to a Skoda Felicia. That looks a little bit lower than standard. And there's that absolutely stunning old Lincoln. I think Dad's finding out a little bit more about that one for his channel. Yeah, black bonnet on the Mazda MX-5, very sporty indeed. So I said we'd look at the Consul Capri, and here we are. That is a Consul Capri GT, the two-door coupe variant of the Consul Classic Ford. Here's the Corvette. There's a very nice Series 2 Land Rover there as well. And yeah, here's the back of the Consul Capri GT. As I said, the very cool swoopy coupe, two-door pillarless coupe variant of the Ford Consul Classic, which is a four-door saloon. This is obviously the much higher spec, being the sporty Capri. It's a very tasty car. Look at the amazing turnout. There's a Series 2 Land Rover looking very smart indeed. It's a Honda Integra Type R, a Mini, Aston Martin DB11, and a lovely Rover P4, Rover 90. So that will be a 4-cylinder engine in that Rover P4. There's the front of that gleaming TR6, and over here is a very special car. This is a Renault 5 Turbo rally car. I'm not exactly sure what the history car is. Is it made up? Is it a genuine Group B rally car? I do not know, unfortunately. There's the massive turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. You got the gearbox right at the back of these, which made them quite a handful to drive in their day. All the weight over the rear wheels. You don't want to be backing off the power mid-corner because you will instantly spin in something like this. Very short wheelbase, very sketchy car to drive, especially off-road in its day. What a fantastic looking car that is. One of my favourite of the Group B rally cars, just because it's so insane, the turbo lag and the insane power once the turbo does spool up. That is an incredible car. Pair of Lotus Elises here. This is quite an eye-catching one in bright green, isn't it? There's a more modern Ford Mustang just over there. It's that gorgeous, very, very rare. Do not underestimate how rare that XK120 is with the aluminium body. There's a Karmann gear over there. We'll try to look at everything this evening. The Series 2 Land Rover is on the move just beyond the Ford Consul Capri GT. Here's the front of the Renault 5. Got a very smart MGB Roadster here. Once again, probably not original MGB colour. Looks to be a bit too metallic, but still looks very, very nice in that. And just next to that is a Porsche 356. Now, I'm not exactly sure about this car. A lot of these are Beetle based, but is this a genuine car? I have a feeling it might be. I'm not exactly sure. It's a 1600 Super. It's very, very hard to tell sometimes with these, but I actually think this might be an original Porsche 356C. There's available as the 356 convertible and the 356 Speedster. This is the 1600 Super, which is the C for coupe, the hard top. Left-hand drive, I think this might be a genuine Porsche 356C now. That is quite a car, that. If it is what it does appear to be, and I've got to say, if it is a replica, which I don't think it is, it's a very, very convincing one. Ferrari 458, we're really packed in now. I think that's like a Ferrari 456 or something there, quite a rare model. Honda Civic is off. 991 Porsche. There's a Mitsubishi Evo here. I think this one makes roughly 700 brake horsepower. So it's quite a wild ride, I'm sure, and a very purposeful looking Beetle. Got the Cibier twin spot lamps on the front of this one. Right-hand drive, got a couple of little Beetle models on the bottom of the interior there. Very purposeful looking Beetle, this one. Here's the front of that incredible Mitsubishi Evo. I've seen that car quite a few times here before. Just beyond this Porsche GT3 RS is this fantastic looking Mercedes 230 SL automatic in this one. I've got to say, these, I always remark, one of the nicest automatic gear selectors I've ever seen. Mercedes were renowned for quality in their day, and in this period of this car, it was at its peak, really. Just fantastic lines on that glorious 230 SL 2.3, I guess 6-cylinder engine for sure. That's just glorious. Another 6-cylinder, though mounted in the back of that GT3 RS, but this is much more my sort of thing. Stunning old Mercedes C-Reg. That's like 67, 66 or something. Get out of the way of this Porsche Taycan. That's a bit huge for me, that one. We'll have a little look up here. This is an Alpina B10, which is the Alpina tuned up variant of the BMW E39 5 Series, a 3.3 6-cylinder in that one. So that's actually quite a cool sleeper car with a bit of Alpina wizardry going on there. Got the Mazda RX-70 FD, this model is. Porsche Boxster S, I think. BMW E36 and a very low VW Carman gear here. You can tell it's Beetle based. A lot of the low Beetles have massive negative camber at the back. And there's a glorious 6-volt Beetle, look at that. That's what the Carman gear was a rebody of. That's a lovely early one. Nice early 6-volt Beetle, unless it's been converted to 12 volt at some point in its life. It's this great looking Carman gear. Probably quite a bit too low for me. Got a bit of weight reduction in the form of anti-passenger device. Yeah, that's great, that. Alfa Romeo Spider and another Evo also rolling in. That XK120 is mind-blowingly beautiful. And there's that Carman gear. Just lost for words with the turnout today. There's this 20s 4-seater Tour. I think it's a standard, this one, judging by the shape of the front grille. Ford Focus ST, followed up by a Mark 1 Volkswagen Golf. Yes, it is a standard something. I'm not exactly sure, like a 10, 12. It could be anything. Got all the lovely pre-war brass fittings. I'd guess this car will be mid to 1920s, like 24, 25, 26. Great looking interior, isn't it? Very square car, but it sort of reflects what cars were like in the mid 1920s. The standard having this sort of quite a common sort of design feature standards in the period was that sort of step in the front of the brass radiator there. And we're back at this Mach 1 Mustang again. Just beyond, a couple of sporty open wheelers and the Mini Cooper just back there. Now I think this is a Reliant Scimitar SS1, which is a very rare British sports car from the sort of mid to late 1980s, I guess. Pop-up headlights, which is great to see. That's a very original car actually. Yeah, it looks completely unrestored since new, but a very rare car there with the Mini behind, not so rare. Very gleaming Rover P4 here, the two-tone livery on this Rover 100. Tax disc from July 1963. Yeah, very handsome car, this old P4 Rover. There's a nice little Mini Cooper there as well. Minis seem to be very popular classics indeed. And a Morgan Roadster. Here's one of quite a few 996 generation Porsche 911s available as a turbo and naturally aspirated. That is a Nissan S12 shape of the Nissan Silvia Turbo ZX. I know that because on the Car Traction _vids Instagram page I did a feature of that car at a past meet. There's a very sharp looking Alpine here as well, with a couple of motorbikes and an E46 Estate, the Touring those are called. Let's have a look at this. This is a Toyota Century limousine, and this car has a V12 up front in it. I do see some videos of people online straight piping these big old automatic barges, and they do sound quite cool actually. So yeah, V12 onto that absolutely huge bonnet on this very grand Toyota Century. You do see with this one around quite a bit. I'd love to see it with the bonnet up actually, because it's a huge bonnet, but it's probably all taken up by that fantastic V12 engine. Porsche Boxster looking quite sleek and blue, and here's the VW Jetta, the estate version of the Volkswagen Golf, which has quite the intake setup, one could say, on the little side, transversely mounted, 4-cylinder there. Very classy looking Mercedes there. 350 or something like that. Mini John Cooper works. Here's this great looking little Austin A35. This car has been all over the world. It's been to Monte Carlo and back again for a charity run. It's got a folding bike in the back as well. Great bit of storage on this Austin A35, and it does have a side pipe, so quite a vocal A series 948cc 4-cylinder in this one. raising money for the Northwest Air Ambulance, and there is the side pipe, which makes the A series very, very loud, and I've got to say, quite good sounding actually. Old car engines with loud exhaust do sound very, very good. And from one car with an A series engine to another, this is another BMC car, so of course we're going to have another A series engine, the wonderful little Mark III Mini Cooper S. Followed this one on the way in, very sharp looking little car in red. It looked great on the road in front of us, bombing along. Now it's a Cooper S because we've got the twin fuel tank set up on this one, Mini Cooper S. Period tuning sticker as well. That's a very sharp looking car. The turnout of today's evening meet, there's usually just maybe a couple of rows of cars here, but as I said, the forecast really decides what sort of meet you're going to have. And yeah, great to see that Mini out. Absolutely immaculate that car is. I think the public who may just have turned up for a family meal might struggle to find a space. Here is this Mini van, Reg 79 or 1980 in date. British Leyland era of Minis, these with a very simple interior. It's a nice and original van, this one. I have seen it before. It's nice and original, looking a bit like the earlier Minis because the vans were quite basic along with the pickups. So it's got like the Mark I Mini rear lights, etc. And just beyond that is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS in an almost very similar shade of blue. And here's this Lola T70, or you think it is until you learn that this is a GTD T70. Now GTD makes sort of several sort of Le Mans race replicas. They did a sort of continuation car, the likes of the Ford GT40 in the 1990s. So this is, I don't know, F-Reg, so it's probably 80s era GTD, which is like a recreation of the old Lola T70 Le Mans races. It's got a Chevrolet of some description, maybe a 350 cubic inch V8 in it. And there's the interior. It's a very convincing replica, this, and it certainly sounds the part. But GTD have been making Le Mans replicas for quite a while. I think they've certainly done a good job on this T70 replica, the Lola T70 late 60s Le Mans racer, as the lifted Toyota Hilux rolls past. Huge quick release filler cap on there, of course the mid-engined Chevrolet V8. The fuel tanks are up here, which could be a little bit dangerous on a vintage racing car like that. There's a Vauxhall Nova looking quite sporty. We're back at that fantastic old Lincoln. I think we're getting a little bit of blocking in maybe here. There's a Subaru parking up, followed by the Peugeot 106. Still plenty to see, so stick around for a little bit longer. Here's the Skoda Felicia, which is extremely low. And there's that absolutely just unbelievable flathead V8 engine in that glorious old Lincoln from 1927. This is the Nissan Silvia Turbo ZX. Check out the Car Traction Instagram, as I've said, for detailed photos of this car. It's a very, very good car to photograph. I like cars that feature on the Instagram on the Car Traction _vids to have the sort of little details which are great to photograph, and this is one that has many of those details. Steering wheel delete as well. I think that's probably a temporary mod. There's the Porsche Taycan, and this fantastic old Mercedes 300 SE. I saw this car here, I think 2 weeks ago. You'd think it's a monthly meet this, but no, every Tuesday most of these cars turn up to this beautiful pub, and I think they'll be making quite a bit of good business tonight because there's so many beautiful classic cars and modern cars, sports cars, JDM cars. Absolutely every car you can think of is here, including this glorious Mercedes from 1963 300 SE. So it's got a 3-litre straight 6 Mercedes engine in this one. What a gloriously polished interior that is. Automatic transmission, I think. This was another car that featured on the Car Traction Instagram actually, so make sure to follow that if you haven't already. This, yeah, the 6-cylinder in this was just a stunning unit. It is as clean under the bonnet as it is on the exterior of this car. It's just an incredibly clean car. Absolutely stunning classic Mercedes-Benz Tourer there. And just beyond that very sleek Merc is this Jaguar Series 3 XJ. I've got one of these girls hanging up in my shed, believe it or not, from 1986, XJ6 Sovereign for sale. The owner of this car's had it for a while. It's quite local to us actually. I didn't know he was putting this up for sale, but there you go. If you want a very clean and well cared for, I can hopefully say on the behalf of the owner, Series 3 Jaguar XJ for 6250, then that's the number to ring. It looks very, very sleek, this car, and once again, I just cannot believe the turnout we have this evening. Everyone is getting blocked in, but no one cares because it's by some form of beautiful enthusiast car of any age. It is welcome here. Looks like the Vauxhall Nova's maybe struggling to find a spot. The Alpine has just plonked itself there, which is fair enough, to be honest. I think there's quite a bit of plonk parking going on today. I don't think you can park there, but the Subaru's looking there anyway. And one car we have missed is, beyond the Bentley Continental GT, a long wheelbase Land Rover. Perhaps a military spec. It's done up in a sort of military livery, so may well be a military spec Land Rover Series 3 Peugeot 205 rally car. Wasn't expecting to see that. You see the indecision on people's faces when they come in and they realise there are no spaces, or at least very, very few spaces. We've actually got in a fairly unblockable position in the little Mazda over there, which is quite handy. I think, to be honest, you just got to dump it there. It's pretty insane tonight. There's also another Land Rover Defender over there, Mercedes 190e just beyond that, so which is Bentley Continental GT with an ironic Rolls-Royce Enthusiast Club badge on this one. One of the first cars that Bentley created when it was sort of bought out, I think, by the VW Group, the Volkswagen Group. One of the first cars to use their W12 engine. And I think this car really saved Bentley in the sort of early 2000s, so that's quite a landmark car to see. I think we'll skip around the back of these to avoid all the cars queuing up. There's the Land Rover, I think it's like a Series 2, but with a Defender front sort of put on it. I don't know quite what's going on with that, because the back looks older than the front of that one. There's the 205 rally car. Here's this Mercedes 190e, a 2.6 in this, so the big engine in this 190e, and yes, people are still arriving. I can foresee maybe a bit of fuel vaporizing today. The Mark II Escort Mexico is very patiently waiting. The 205 has just been dumped there. You really needed to get early to tonight. This is a very big car park, but it's filled up very quickly indeed. And there's still cars down here. Now this is, I thought it was an Atom, but no, this is some form of home-built special as the Mark I MG Midget rolls past, as it has a Ford twin-cam Z-Tech engine, 16 valve on that 4-cylinder. I'm sure that's a bit of a hoot as the MG Midget rolls past there. There's another MG Midget here, another Mark I with the nice little chrome grills on it. Yeah, it's a delightful little car. The owner of this car also has the side-piped Austin A35. That's a very noisy Subaru. There's the VW Beetle and that glorious Mark I MG Midget. I think it is a home-built, custom-built job, this one. Yeah, quite an interesting one there. I can't see any brands, so I think someone's just made that. A bit of a Bitzer. Here's the front of this Ford Sierra 4x4, a very rare and desirable car, that. I somehow managed to miss this fantastic split window VW camper, the earlier design that everyone associates. These eventually went to the bay window, which doesn't seem to be quite as desirable. These are insanely desirable, these original split window ones. Left-hand drive, as you can see, the steering wheel is mounted very, very sort of horizontally because you're sat right over the front wheels in a VW camper like this. Got the nice curved glass there as well. Just cannot get over, for a sort of weekly pub car meet, how much is here today. There's a new TVR here, actually. Things seem to slip through. This is a T350C. Got a sort of lift out Targa top, which is quite an unusual. I haven't seen one of those in a T350C, so maybe I'm identifying it wrong. I'm not sure if I am making any mistakes, or if you just like any of the cars here, of which I do like many. Let me know in the comments below and tell me what you would have driven home out of today's absolutely insane turnout. What has just turned up? Okay then, I am lost for words. This is a 250 TR, classic racing Ferrari. Listen to that! Whoa, 250 TR Ferrari. We've got to follow that, haven't we? What a beautiful classic racing car that is. I think I've seen that car once before at Bicester Heritage, which is where you get all the sort of glorious classic racing cars, and I think we've got to chase that one up past all of the other beautiful enthusiast cars. I think we've got a new favourite for the day. There's a Nissan R34 GTR here as well, but that Ferrari, can you imagine driving that on the open road? What a car that is. I think I've got a new favourite for the day here.
Have you?
Yeah, it's sort of, it was tight between the sort of the Lincoln and the Alpha. What engine's in the Lincoln?
It's a 6 point something litre V8.
Yeah, the flathead V8, which was insane. But that's pretty special, isn't it?
I assume it's real.
It is. It's the one at Bicester. Do you remember there was a black one at Bicester? There was a D-Type, a 250 TR and a Healy 100M that were in that middle bit of Bicester. And that's the 250 TR.
Pretty swanky, isn't it?
I can't imagine driving that on the road. Everyone says Ferrari should be red, but that looks great in black. And there's an example of some more variety in this. We've got the Toyota Yaris in front of a lovely 6-volt Beetle. That's a very nice car, that. But yeah, this 250 Ti is unbelievable. I think this car deserves a short while spending on an original 1960s racing Ferrari. 3 litre roughly, I think, V12 up front, and a 250 refers to the capacity of each cylinder, because there's a 12-cylinder engine in it. It's got a 5-speed manual in this one. Wow, that is insane. I was not expecting to see this at tonight's little evening car meet. And that's a very, very smart 6-volt Beetle. There's a Mark III MX-5 behind. That's a very nice little Beetle.
The fellas over there was filming when it came in.
Right, well, however stunning that 250 TR is, 250 Testarossa 1960s Ferrari racing car, dread to think how many zeros are in the value of that car. We do need to look at other things. TVR Tamura, and over here is a very interesting Morris Minor. As here, this is Grandad's old Morris Minor Traveller. I remember him having this car just a couple of years ago, really, Beetle-based sort of beach racer there. But yeah, I remember this car very well. Rode in it many a time. So yeah, it's interesting to see this out at another show, because I remember this car very well. Had many a ride at it over the years. He had it for a few years, and then he sold it, and now he's got his MGB GT, so it's great to see that out again. There's another Mini here. So much to see. Mark 1 Golf. There's a Nissan Silvia there, that's a turbocharged, pretty much straight through piped exhaust. That Ferrari is attracting quite a bit of attention there. I think he's fair enough blocking those couple of cars. Even if the cars did want to go, it gave him an excuse to start it up and to wake up that glorious 3 litre V12 engine. It's called a 250 TR because 250cc is the size of each individual cylinder. 250 times 12 is 3000, so it's a 3 litre engine with each individual cylinder being 250cc. But here's this glorious 6-volt Beetle. You don't see many of these early ones. It's a left-hand drive car. Yeah, that's really nice, that. He's got a bumper notifying us about his semaphore indicators. These little doofers that stick out there, so that's actually a really nice little car. Here's the Nissan Silvia, bit of JDM here. There's a very handsome looking Triumph Bonneville there. And a Wolseley Hornet. This one has a period supercharger on it next to another little Austin Mini over there, looking very nice. The Wolseley, perhaps a more upmarket variant of the original Mini design, but this one has been tuned up more to what the purpose of maybe the Riley Elf was, which was the little sporty one. And this one's upgraded to quite a more fast road spec than the Wolseley or indeed Riley could have ever hoped for. And we're back at that absolutely jaw-dropping Ferrari 250 TR. Grandad's Moggy Traveller's off, followed by the little Mini Racing Green Edition, followed by the lifted Hilux. Very low Volkswagen Carmen gears off now. Just beyond the alley body XK120 is another glorious 6-volt Beetle, nice GB plate on the back of that one. And here's another car that featured on the Car Traction Instagram. So got some great detailed photos before this glorious, just post-war, MGTD. Now as you can see, this is a left-hand drive car, so perhaps an original US spec MGTD Roadster. Very late 40s, early 50s British sports car there, but sold for the American market, this one, and that explains how well this one has preserved. I don't know whether you can see it on camera, but the paint on this car is absolutely just beautiful. Original from the MG Abingdon factory. It's just such a really nicely preserved little car, that. It really is just a little beauty, that. I should also mention this beautiful MGTD is kitted out with quite a selection of beautiful old accessories. Got the lovely old fittings on the door mirrors. They're not really on the door or a wing, I don't know what to call them. Got the lovely no-tech lamp on the front of that one as well, with a distinctive sort of blue spot in the middle, and then that's a Butler's Clearway lamp, spot lamp I should really be saying, on that beautifully preserved MGTD. And as one goes, another comes to fill its space. Modern Porsche 911 and a Ford Sierra. Seen that car plenty of times before. It's got a very tuned up 4-cylinder in that one, which does sound very tasty actually. And he is, just like everyone else, scouring the pub car park for a space. And here, in a very suitable yellow compared to the little MX-5 over there, is the 1.6 engined Mark II Ford Escort Mexico.
And your son's been on Facebook, and you get some of the people that love it.
Well, I've just had a little chat to the owner of this fantastic Ferrari 250 Ti. Now, one thing I was not convinced about this car was it had a private registration. Now, that started to plant ideas that maybe this was not originally what it seemed, but don't be too worried, this is still a very special car. So this is not an original Ferrari 250 Ti. This is a TR, sort of like resto mod sort of thing, built out of all sorts of Ferrari parts. It's got a Ferrari 250 GT engine in it, so it's still the correct engine. It's basically like a modern recreation of the Ferrari 250 Ti Racer with that glorious aluminium body. I was looking at the metalwork earlier. It is aluminium and it's just a recreation, but it is just done absolutely beautifully. I think the driver of this car today doesn't actually own the car. So yeah, it's based on all original old Ferrari parts. We've got the Barani rims, which are all original Ferrari. All the dials, everything you see is original Ferrari. It's just like a bit of a bitzer from loads of different classic Ferraris, which is done up with that glorious body, which has been, I presume, handmade to be of pretty much exactly the same spec as the old 250 TR racers. It is a very, very, very convincing looking 250 TR, and while it still isn't the real thing, you could say, it's still made out of priceless Ferrari pieces here and there, and it just makes for an absolutely stunning car, even if it wasn't raced by Fangio or whoever would have driven it in period. Maybe like Deportago or someone would have had a go in something like this, but even though no one like that sat in it, it's still a stunning car that really has fooled everyone today. I'm sure very, very few people know that this actually isn't the real thing just because it is that convincing. I see the name Joe Macari or Joe Massari on it. So maybe like a Ferrari and Maserati dealer, or a man who builds recreation classic race cars. But yeah, this is a new car basically. Actually, I'll have to search up the registration on the DVL. It probably would have maybe been on a Q plate of all things originally. It's just had a private reds, which was the first thing that was the indication that this is not an original race car, and it's not, but it's built up to basically the same spec, and it made for a glorious road car. The beautiful vintage Standard is now ticking over quietly. It's got a side valve 4-cylinder. Another 4-cylinder car's rumbling away. That little open wheel special here. Got that wonderful looking Land Rover 90. That's a very, very clean car. And here's this Ford Sierra Fast Road spec. It's got Burton sticker on the back actually, so maybe Burton makes some form of Ford tuning parts. I'm not exactly sure. We saw Burton on the Thames 500 weight van earlier. Yeah, it's quite a car this, so that's quite a bit of fun. As is this open wheeler. Sounds like it's got some form of throttle body. It's got that very snarling intake sound. Maybe a bit of Ford DNA in that one as well. That looks like a real hoot, that, doesn't it? GR Yaris has just popped in as well. Those are quite popular cars. Very, very good reputation, those. With another, it's that little open wheeler, the one I could not figure out what it actually was. So a home built special open wheeler there. It's funny how people with open wheelers wear helmets. I wonder if it's to stop flies whacking you or something. It's like riding a sort of motorbike, but just like way, way quicker. So that's also on its way out now. That looks like quite a bit of hoot. I'm sure that handles insanely actually. Loads of aero on that. Now a new arrival here. This is a fantastic 105 Series Alfa Romeo, and it's a Giulia, but this is the Giulia GTC. This will be one that will be featured on the Car Traction Instagram at some point. Look, what a gorgeous car this is though. Retrimmed interior, it's immaculate, this thing. So it's the 105 series typical Alfa, like the Alfaholics GTV we saw earlier actually. It's like that, but this is a completely unmodified, completely original car. That's just a beautiful little car. So rare to see a convertible 105 series Alfa Romeo now. And there's another Mark 1 MX-5. This is maybe actually a UK market car. The red one with the black bonnet was a Unos. Oh yes, a Mark 1 Mazda MX-5. There isn't a Unos, so this is a UK spec car, so this has put up with salt on the roads, which makes these UK market cars a lot rarer than the likes of the Unos Roadsters. And it's a Harvard edition. What that means, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, quite sharp and silver. There's actually an MX-5 that's dumped in someone's driveway, if I dare say, on the way here, and I kind of fancy it. It's in the same silver as this. It looks like the wonderful little Giulia GTC will be off soon, the 105 series convertible. That's quite a practical 4-seater family convertible, isn't it? In style as well. Got the same twin-cam Alfa Romeo engine, just of a much lower tune than the likes of the Alfaholics car earlier. Still sounds absolutely fantastic. Really crisp engine notes. Lovely twin-cam engine. Probably twin Weber carburetors or something similar. Fairly open intake. That is actually one of the cars I would love to own here. There's a lot of cars I like here. I might be a bit stressed to own something like that 250 TR, but I think that probably would be my choice. But that, I've got to acknowledge, that lovely Giulia is an absolute beauty.
Enjoy your work.
The TR6 is fired up, the 2.5 Triumph straight 6 PI engine, Lucas PI injection system on that one. Yeah, lovely classic straight 6 sound there. It is a bit of an art threading your way through out of here. The MGB has just done the same. Ooh, single pipe on that TR6. LED lights as well. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, single pipe, fairly straight through by the sound of it. Great sounding car there. It's a bit of a group effort to extract this TR6. Dad is helping greatly. Yeah, things have been a little bit tight today, but at least the TR6 has threaded its way out.
Well, on eBay and have a look, and it's 200 quid. It's a bit what? So I just rang your place. I spoke to that girl. She used to work at Mac.
Big old tanks, all my mates used to have them.
Well, the whole reshelling process took me, well, start to finish.
Well, I think a lot of people are starting to head off now. I think in a bit, after I grab some final Instagram detailed photos, make sure to follow, guys, we will head off as well. I just realised I didn't feature that very, very low Beetle, the front engined era of Beetle there, and I didn't see this fantastic little Rover, maybe, certainly British Leyland era Mini here. So if you have enjoyed what has been an absolutely incredible turnout, and still is an incredible turnout, it's just that a lot of the cars are starting to fire up and head off now, and I've pretty much looked at everything already, so I'll close off the video here. But if you did like any of them, please do let me know in the comments below what you would have driven home. I think I'll be getting quite a few answers of the 250 TR recreation. But if that hadn't been here, then there was a lot of temptation on offer today. You got the GTD Lola T70 replica. That's another very convincing recreation car. They got that glorious Alfa Romeo GTV Alfaholics car. I really like this Scimitar GTE as well. There's a lot of very, very handsome cars. That aluminium bodied XK120 is glorious, as is the 1963 300SE Mercedes-Benz. We haven't got to see the engine bay on that car today, but hopefully we will in the future, and it is stunning. You can always check out the Instagram, it does actually appear on there, the engine bay. It is an incredible engine bay. That car is absolute concourse, amazing, amazing car. So do let me know that, and make sure to subscribe for past events, which you can look at on the channel homepage, and subscribe for future events that will contain many, many, many more interesting, fascinating classic cars of all pedigrees, from Mark 1 Mazda MX-5s to Ferrari 250 TRs, and maybe beyond. Maybe one day we'll see a real one. We will see. But I'm going to say goodbye for now, and thanks for watching.
When you put your right hand down, you'll be able to get